Have about every row orientation known to man on this vineyard, and mostly because of the terrain changes and the way we laid it out. But it's allowed us to try a lot of different things with canopy and different varieties. We have up here, this is all cab here, and then right below we have some Merlot on east-west orientations. And I think in most parts of the world they think you're kind of crazy to plant that way, but we see some really nice fruit coming off of east-west orientations. I think it has, you know, challenges, but it also, you can kind of farm that fruit on the cool side. And so we try to grow the fruit on, you know, fully exposed in the shade per se. So, you know, as long as you get a canopy and get some shade on that hot side, it seems to work quite well. And we see some really nice veraison on these east-west orientations, and I think it shows up in the wine as well. It's just, you have to farm the canopy, you know, for the wind and the weather that we have, and try to make it work. But it is a challenge in the wind. It wants to move things potentially on the wrong side that you're trying to protect.
What Chris has accomplished isn't really visible, and it is. You're looking at it and don't realize it. But any winemaker that looks across the vineyard, if he sees it looking like this, he knows he's in trouble, because those big vines are going to ripen, the little ones are going to ripen at a different time. When you see a vineyard that's consistent like that, it's potentially a great vineyard. But on top of that, this one rolls. And it looks very pretty, but Chris spent years walking the drip lines and changing the spacing by hand on the tubes to get everything to start growing even. So that's a lot more of an accomplishment than it looks, because you look across there, it is very, very even. You might explain just briefly how your picking crews work.
We pick, right now we have about 35 employees hand picking everything. We have two men crews and one woman crew. They all pick together. Each crew picks together. We pay by the piece or by the pound. So it kind of self-regulates. If somebody's a little bit slow, sooner or later they don't usually stick with us that long, because everybody works real hard and makes really good money this time of the year.
He's saying he pays the crew, not the person. So the crew splits the money.
They individually get a check, but they divide whatever they pick during the day. They divide it out, and it seems to work really well. They work good together, and like they say, they push. And the women, they can hang with the guys all day long, and we try to make sure the women have good.
What you're saying is they do a better job.
Yeah. Well, and for example, yeah, it's true. They're very detail orientated and they work hard. And for example, right now, out of the 3 crews, the 2 guys crews, they have one person on each bin pulling leaves and checking to make sure that bin is clean. The women don't do that. They're all picking because they're clean. So they're all making.
And this is not a woman picking crew. The women work year round.
Yeah.
They get the same assignments. They work by themselves, and it's a real challenge. The men are definitely ramping up, because you can hear them muttering. They tell Chris, "Well, you're giving the women the easy assignments." He says, "No, I'm not." No, I mean, it's always an excuse.
It's fun though. And
so Chris, is it separated by their choice or by you guys?
I
mean, did it just happen that way, or?
It happened that way. A few of our foremen, a lot of the women used to work in the packing sheds in the Apples and uptown, and a lot of those packing sheds have closed down. You know, we've known their families forever, and so about 3-4 years ago, we started a small crew because we were shy on work. It's a resource, and employees are hard to. Quality employees are hard to come by, and so we already knew these people and trusted them, and they'd worked, you know, around the valley for a while, and they needed work and we needed employees, and we just kind of started it, and it ended up being a value for sure.
What's your total employment on the project?
All summer we ran about 75. We're down to about 65 right now. We lose some people because of apple harvest. Everybody wants to go make money and pick apples. Our crew used to go pick apples, the main crew. We have enough grapes and enough work all year round now. They'll stick with us. They like picking grapes and they make good money. So the smart guys realize it would be easier to stick with the same company and have year-round work than jump here and pick cherries and look for a job in apples and jump around. But right now what we basically have is we have a development crew of about 15 people that are building and putting irrigation trellis systems in the new vineyards, and then we have the production crew. And the production crew is where we're really, the ladies are a big part of that. They've stuck in there all year long. That's what we do too. We tell the people, if everybody wants to pick, everybody wants to make money. It's like, if you take care of the crop and you understand the crop from A to Z, from pruning to shoot thinning, the whole thing, then you're allowed to pick the crop. And that's what I have to be able to work with these people and trust that I'll do that for them, because that's where the money's at the end of the year, is the picking. And so that's where we're trying to develop more crews that understand, because we've taken the construction crew and did some pruning last year, and it was a mistake. It only lasted about a half a day. They have to understand and they have to care about the crop, and our jobs are so much more enjoyable when you have people that understand what they're doing. And the crews, the production crews that are actually taking care of the vineyards, they do a wonderful job for us. They understand now, what the canopy's supposed to look like, what thinning needs to look like, and after a while, you go in and make small changes, but for the most part, they're educated and growing wine grapes, and it takes time. And so we're always, when we get new people that we think care about the crop or have potential, we'll put them into the production crew.
If you go down through the vineyard, you'll see every row has the name of the winemaker that gets that row. They're paying by the acre, so they give Chris instructions. In effect, he's custom farming for about 40 farmers. They pay the same whether they go 2-ton or 4-ton, same pricing. And another thing you don't see on the project, just out of sight up over the hill is a little trailer house. We have a full-time IT man, very sharp, sitting in it because he has visual line of sight for everything, for radio. And we have another IT man down in the office. Just real brief, every valve, every pump, these big wells pump to 3 different ponds. Each pond has 4 or 5 pumps in it. So every well, every pump, every block has a water meter on it. All of that stuff radios back to the office. They know all the time where it is. The depth of the well is radioed back, the amount of water flowing out of the well. And there are cameras scattered all over this area. And you can go online, swing the camera up wherever you want, go up to 20 power magnification. There are buried moisture sensors all through the area. They radio back to the office, so you don't come out and read it to get in there.
Norm, and I think they don't understand that anybody who goes on the website, the sevenhillsvineyard.com, you can go and access these cameras. So you're in New Jersey, you can come onto there and you can move the camera. So you can see the different blocks, and you can actually see the guys working. So that part is not just for the IT guys, that's for everybody.
I'm smiling because JM Sellers has
yeah.
in Seattle, they're putting another one here. Their vineyard's just up on top of the site. And so he has a big flat screen TV in his tasting room. You can look all the time at what's happening in his crew. He makes a phone call and says, "Will you please tell those guys to use the toilets?" But it's high tech. But Chris and the viticulture crew that work for him are on the ground all the time. And that's